Hi guys, welcome back to Gardening with Creations by DX & Co. Today I'm going to get started with my single seed challenge for 2022. The single seed challenge is something that Scott Head does on his channel, Black Gumbo Gardening. It's a fantastic job really expressing how gardening is a community and we should all share and come up with challenges and grow together. And so I wanted to take this time. I've done the single seed challenge along with him in the past. I've just never actually made a video about it, but this year he really encouraged everybody to make their own video about the subject, so I thought, why not? I'll make one and maybe you guys haven't heard of it and you can follow along with my progress on it, and also check out Scott's videos as well on the subject. I'll make sure to link his channel as well as the video in the description below for you guys and at the end of this video. The whole idea behind it is that you find a particular crop or variety of your crop, right, that you want to actually try to grow just a single seed and take it from seed all the way to fruiting. So follow along the stages and really kind of baby that particular seed. You may have different varieties of tomatoes growing, 2-3 different kinds of cherry tomatoes or your beefsteak tomatoes, things like that. But maybe you find that one variety of tomato that you've never tried that you want to try. Maybe a friend gave you that seed. That's what that single seed challenge is really all about, is following along the life cycle of that one seed that you're going to follow along. For me, a few years back, that was my lemon seed, and I have a lemon tree going. It hasn't gotten to fruit yet, but I love that I still have that one going from a few years now. What you want to do, you record it and you'll upload it to YouTube, tag it as hashtag single seed challenge 2022, and I'll make sure I get that hashtag right for you in the description as well. And Scott also covers it in his video. But really it's about picking the variety that you want to go with. So for me, I had a little bit of a tough time this year on what plant that I was going to choose for my specific single seed challenge. And I teetered back and forth between tomatoes and peppers and different plants that, you know, maybe a flower. It doesn't have to be a vegetable. So I teetered with some different varieties. And I was out the other day, funny enough, at Walmart of all places, and I did find a seed that I was very excited to try, and I thought, you know what, that'll be my single seed challenge. I'm already growing some variety of this plant already, but I really thought, you know what, I've never tried that variety. And my wife is actually on a special FODMAP diet. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of that before, but she can't have green bell peppers. So green bell peppers, in fact, have a special chemical before they turn to your orange, your red, your purple, your different color bell peppers. They have a special chemical that isn't broken down yet, or an enzyme, so she can't have those based on this particular diet. So what she has to do is, it takes a very long time for peppers to actually turn that color. There are some hybrid or mixed color varieties that actually turn faster, and I am growing some of those along with some green peppers because I can still eat those. But I picked up this one. This was a bell pepper variety there. And this bell pepper variety is a sweet Keystone Giant, and it is 72 to 80 days to harvest. Looks like it's a 10 to 14 day germination and about a 1/4 inch depth for planting. So I've chosen a pot here, you know, just a 5-inch pot that I'm going to start it out in. I could start it in a seedling tray, a seed starter, like a, you know, a traditional you would for any type of pepper plant or anything like that. But I decided that I'm going to go ahead and start it right off in its initial plant, because from here I'll be able to, this one should be enough. It is mid-February now, so hopefully that 6-week mark will be beginning of April. I may have to up pot it one time, or I may be able to go straight in the ground with it. So we'll see how the weather does this year. A lot of times we're talking Mother's Day before I can really put a pepper plant in the ground, but we'll see. So without further ado, I'm going to get started with this bell pepper, the sweet Keystone Giant, as my single seed challenge. There's the back of it for you guys there. Again, that one. It is going to have to turn colors. I'm sure it's going to be green. That's perfectly fine. This is from a company called Back to the Roots. I have used their seeds in the past. It's not something that I like gravitate towards. They're not very expensive, but They also have a fish tank that I've used in the past, which is the one where you can grow vegetables and stuff right out of the top of your fish tank. It's a pretty neat design, a little too small for what I liked, and I did try to grow some things in it. It worked out well. It works out more for herbs, things like that. It's a good company overall. They're really getting their seed variety out there. USA seeds, as they say, right? So, all right, it's a mild pepper, no heat, of course, it's a bell pepper. So let me go ahead and get started with some planting. I'll bring you guys along. All right, so went ahead and filled up my soil here with some potting soil. You can definitely use a seed starting mix in this particular thing, because as most of you know, seeds in the germination stage don't need extra nutrients, but I do plan to leave this one in here for a little bit longer. So I went with a potting mix rather than a seed starting mix. You can do it either way. With planting peppers, peppers like heat, especially with germination. So you want to make sure either you have a heat mat if you're planning to go with a pepper variety, or you have some sort of a greenhouse setup like I have. If you guys haven't seen that video, you can scroll back a couple and see the indoor greenhouse setup that I've got going on. That really helps with the heat and humidity for germination. I've already got a couple of pepper plants germinated, not this variety of course. But the great thing about the single seed challenge and kind of what Scott is kind of telling everybody is it's okay if this failed. There's no such thing as 100% germination rate when it comes to your seeds. So don't be afraid to try and start again. You know, if this is your rare variety of seed, this is where it's important to make sure you're only doing one at a time, so to speak, and not putting all your eggs into one basket. Maybe this soil isn't good. Maybe you didn't do it right when you know, water in or something like that. So if you're really trying for a, you know, high success rate with your seed germination and this variety of plant that you're struggling really hard to grow, and you're putting a lot of time and effort, you're babying this plant maybe above a lot of the others because you're so excited about it. So, all right, let me try to get, this package was actually pretty difficult to open. I would recommend maybe opening from the bottom on this one in particular. Maybe that was their intended purpose. But I had to go down quite a ways to get it open. So we've got our single seed there. And as most of you guys know, I like to take a pencil. Just kind of helps me find the center. Poke straight down in the center. Drop our single little seed there. In there. Cover it up. We'll get that one put under the grow lights there. Now there's recommendations if you don't have, you know, a heat mat or a greenhouse set up inside like I do, right? Or a south facing window that gets a lot of heat beating down right on that pepper plant. The recommendations in those cases, you could put this in like a Ziploc bag or a plastic bag or some sort of a clear covering that kind of gives it that greenhouse effect, helps that moisture and humidity actually create that heat under your grow lights there. Thanks for taking the time to watch this, guys. I know it's just a simple video on what I'm doing with my single seed challenge. I really encourage you guys, we are a community. Gardeners really need to stick together this day and age, and as a community, comment down below, what is your single seed challenge? Are you doing the single seed challenge along with Scott and so many other gardeners out there? Is there a variety that maybe you want to try? Maybe there's a variety of a Michigan plant that you can't get. Let me know. Maybe we can get together and maybe do some sort of a seed swap, right? I'd be excited to try some varieties from around the country, around the globe. It'd be pretty awesome to do some seed swap. In fact, I think that's what Scott's doing, is trying out a plant this year that he got from somebody else, and just from somebody who saved seeds. I think that's an awesome idea. For me, it's really just about trying something new that I've never grown before. Not a new plant, but a new variety, right? And so I'm going to milk this. I might even actually keep this one in a pot all the way up to a 5-gallon bucket or larger if I need to, rather than actually putting this one in the ground. I may even go as far as overwintering this and keeping this growing in my greenhouse through the winter next season, and maybe doing an overwintering video for you guys. We'll see. We'll see. And this one might not germinate, might not take, but you know what? That's okay. That's gardening. I'll try again. I have no fear. It's also very early in the season. I can try again, and I can grow late into the season. Even though I don't have a long season, I can keep trying, right? Maybe I only get one pepper off of that, but maybe that's the best tasting pepper. With the food shortages potentially coming, I don't want to get political, but you know, that's one of those things. Like, we need to try. Today is the time to try to grow your own foods. So again, this is really about the single seed challenge for me. I haven't been gardening. I'm videotaping my gardening lately because I've been dealing with some home repairs, some homestead issues, and having to deal with some plumbers and stuff like that. I've still been gardening. In fact, after this, I've got to pot some of my tomatoes. I appreciate all of you who've taken the time to watch this video, and I hope that you subscribe to see the rest of this challenge. I'd love to see your comments on what you guys are doing for your single seed challenge, and let's just come together as a community and you know, blow up the internet with Growing Garden. As I mentioned, Scott's got a wonderful channel. He's down in Texas, so his zone's very different than me, but he's awesome. And I've learned a lot from just watching his videos over the years, and all the way to his most popular video, which I still believe is topping pepper plants and the controversy around that, right? I like to top my pepper plants even though I have a short growing season. Is it right to do in Michigan? Again, that's controversial, right? Scott's got a wonderful channel. There's a lot to learn from him, so I will link his information. You can check it out, and hopefully you guys will find some value in that. Even if you're in a different zone like me, I'm in a completely different zone than him, but I still find a lot of value in his gardening. He's got some great tips. I hope you guys like this video, and I hope you guys are staying safe and enjoying your gardens.